Today I'm going to show you how to set up MQ2 to pull for you and how to get going really quick in a couple easy steps in a few short minutes. I'm going to get you going with this. Okay, the first thing you need to do is you need to go ahead and have this directory open here so you know where your macro files are. This is a default directory where Redguides Very Vanilla installs. So once you know where this directory is, you can see it out right here. Go down to it. You should not see, if this is your first time, you should not see a file with your name in it like this. So what you have to do, target yourself, /Mac space kiss assist, and you run this, and it'll go beep, and there you go. You will have a little macro created. It will end it. Now that's a good sign. So then you go back into here, and now you see your file here. So now you're ready to go ahead and set this up. Okay, so the important thing let's talk about setting up a camp out here. The most important thing in setting up your first camp is make sure you have clean line of sight. It's always easier when you can see a lot better rather than indoors. I prefer outdoor zones. It's much easier to do. As you can see right here, it's set up near the Druid ring, so it's convenient to get to. So you want to have line of sight, and also if you look at the mobs we're fighting, this mob he's only 74. So he's very low level for us, but our partner over there named Kleptomania is 65, and he will benefit greatly from us killing this. He's in the group. He's high enough to level with this. As you know, it's a 30 level difference, so he could get experience with up to a level 95 character here. So let's go back in here, and I'm going to show you how to set this up. And by the way, this character here, if you're curious, was a level 85 Shadow Knight. Just you can see it's got the basic heroic gear, nothing special at all. And with low level mobs like this, you may not even need to load all the spells. You can just go out and whack them over the head. Okay, so let's talk about setting this thing up. We're using a merc to heal, which is always good because it automates it and makes the healing process easy. We only need to worry about this character over here, which is in hide and sneak, and this character that's doing the pulling. So let's go into here. Let's look at this file right here. First thing you want to do is the most important part of this file. First, let's add a space here. Is this area right here. So you have role as assist. You have camp radius 30 and this. So the ones you want to change, return to camp 1. You want them to come back to the same point every time, otherwise he'll just get lost going everywhere. And under this, you want to change your role to puller tanks. That means you're going to pull and you're going to tank. It's very important. If you don't do that, he won't do anything. Next thing you want to do, the most important thing, is what I would do is, if you have time, make space in between, see where the brackets are. This way it's easier to read. But let's go all the way down to DPS. I'm going to go over this in detail in another video on buffs, DPS, these other functions right here. But let's turn DPS to 1, and let's try to put in a spell here. I'll show you how this works. And this spell is Plague of the Karanas right here. It's just a duration. It's a dot basically. So let's go ahead and put that one in there. And we're going to put a pipe, and we're going to put in 99 like that. Okay, so this tells, 99 tells when to cast it on the enemy. To cast it on him when he's 99%. When he's 100%, you can set it to 100. But you have to be careful sometimes, because if you do too much damage, you'll get summoned out there, and that's always bad. You want to kind of get back to the camp when you're fighting them. Okay, so next thing you want to do is you want to set up, let's try to set this up, another spell. But this spell, the difference is it's going to be a spell that you're going to use not at 100%, okay? We're going to use Festering Darkness. This is a snare spell. Now we're going to set this at 30%, or set it at 20. When the mob starts running away, we're going to cast Festering Darkness. So it differs. It's a late spell. So you got one that's cast early, and you got one that casts very, very late. In fact, usually what this is something like that. Okay. After we do that and we cast that snare, we want to go back and check this melee right here. Another thing you want to check is you want to make sure the melee is set to like this. You have the melee set and you set it to 99%, face a mob. These are all technical things, you don't have to worry. Just make sure it has MQ melee as 1. I set the assist at 99, but you're going to be the tank. You're just going to engage him all the way. Next important part is you want to scroll all the way down to pull. Very, very important point. And the key things you want to go over are these 3 of these entries. It says pull with melee, max radius 350, Z range 350, 50 right here. So max radius is how big around an area it pulls. What's the area? In this situation, you have to fool with this. I'm set to 450 right here. The Z range is how high up it goes. When you have hills or maybe mobs on the top of a building, you want to pull it, make it higher. You got to fool around with this. I usually go with like a 150, that covers it. Now pull width is really, really key, because right here you can change it to pull with a throwing knife, a bow, or something like that, but we won't get into that. I really suggest pulling with something that's non-damaging, because you don't want to get summoned out there and then the whole thing get confused and you get killed out there. Especially with regular camps where you're with a group, you want to stay with the group. So pull width, festering darkness. And you don't have to put a number behind it with a pipe, because it'll just pull open with that. And then the next thing is there's a pull pause. I don't like to set the pause at all. Set it to 0. And the arc width, I just set it at 360. You could set it at less if you want to just pull in front of you, but you can set it at this. This will cover everything. Okay, there are a couple other things here, GM tools and all that. You can set them to 0 so they're off, because sometimes they do check if, for example, I've had where a GM comes into the zone, but they're not coming to check me out. They just come into the zone and it goes ahead and pauses everything. So you can set a condition here, but we'll talk about that some other time. Not really important. And down here, the Merc, don't worry about it. These are the only key sections you need to worry about. You need to worry about pull. You need to make sure the melee is on. Usually by default, it's set the melee as such, and then come up here and set these things here. Once you've done those, you're ready to rock and roll. Now, next thing you want to do is save it. Whoops, I put something on there here. So there we go. So you have the file, you save your file, you're all set to go. Now that this file is saved, go ahead and close this, close this, close this. We're going to get out into position. Let me show you what this map looks like. This blue, this circle here shows you, gives you an idea what the range is out there. So you can kind of tell, if you right click this guy here, you will see an upper hand 350. So this guy out there, he's this is about right. It's about 350, 400. And what do we have under the pull? And the pull is set to 450. So he is covered in the area. So that means ideally we want to set our camp up kind of right in the middle of this here. This is where the mobs spawn, and from there we'll be able to take them out. So you can set it up on the edge, or you can set up right where a cursed tree ant is, or a little in front of kleptomania, and it'll cover a lot. But let's go ahead and put Inviso up. Make sure the person you're leveling is within your range. And when you get up to here, you're going to want to start your macro. This is probably a good area right here. So let's go ahead and it's clear. It's clear. Okay, next thing you do is make sure your roles are set. Main assist. Okay, you're good. So let's go ahead and just target one of these and do kiss assist. And I want to show you what this is. I set a macro up. All it basically does is it loads kiss assist. And here is the thing. So there we go. We killed him by harm touch. Got a little bit overzealous. So you have to change a couple things later on. It's with the MQ2 melee. that is casting harm touch, but don't worry, it'll come back. You don't need it in this case. You just go ahead and smack these guys. Your healer merc will keep you alive forever. And even as a heroic, you have no problem grinding through this stuff here. So this macro button here does this command, mat kiss assist, like we did earlier. But since we filled out a macro with our name in it, it'll load the commands we want in there. Now you notice I do have some other spells loaded. You can load those, but you're probably not going to need it out here because you're just killing this stuff like it's nothing. When you want to end the macro, you would use this other button called end. It's a /end. That'll end it right there. Notice we have cast snare on him. Look at that. And the festering darkness has snared him, which is really good. And we should get ready. Here we go. Look, it's just going to pull like there's no tomorrow. Meanwhile, while this is going on, let's check good old Kleptomania. He's getting experience, and he's at 9% in. And look at this. He sits there and he's admiring this. He can sit down, and there's our guy over there killing everything in sight. And we're gonna go back to him now, and let's check it out. So we didn't get the snare on him, it was probably resisted. Okay, killed him. And here's some more. Change the camera angle so we can look back and watch the action. And he will just run by himself, and when he's done, he'll come back to his camp spot and kill everything. You know, Shadow Knights are great for power leveling other characters because when they get hit, they do damage to other characters, which is really nice. They don't do a whole lot of damage like a Berserker or a Rogue, but it's a good character to use. So I prefer to use Shadow Knights like this, do power level another character. In a group content, they're the best tanks, I think. Of course, warriors are better in raid content, but all around great characters to use. So if you have an 85 and you want to get your Shadow Knight going, you're all good. And these guys are tough as nails. I've had group content before been playing group content where the merc dies and I didn't even notice it, and my Shadow Knight just kept killing everything because, like I've always said, they are the Terminator class. They're very, very hard to kill, very hard to mess up. So you have characters like that, you're all good. So he's going to go ahead, and there we go. Look at this. He's going there. Now, what if you don't want to pull Cursed Treants? Let's just say they're amiable to you or they're a quest mob. Well, there's another file that can go ahead and change that for you, and that file is Kiss Assist info right here. And in this file, it'll show the zone and it'll show the characters to ignore and all that. But that's for another video, and I'm going to do a more advanced one on how to go ahead and customize your pull, because sometimes you're around quest mobs and you'll get stuck trying to cast on them, or the logic will get messed up. Okay, so look at this here. Look, got the Carnival prize. This is very nice. This is an AUG, so it's just working its way. Here we go. There's another victim, and look at that. Look at the map here. This is showing the map. It's showing what's happening out there, and there's still more to pull. He's still got more to go. Let's check on little Kleptomania, and he is getting experience with a bonus. And he's had it all sent to AA, which is wrong. But he did get a lot of AAs. And there we go. After we kill this, we can see what he's getting. He's just sitting here enjoying. 9.9%. And this is on the test server, so it's going to be real big. Look at that, 10% per kill. Those are the days, right? This is so much better than having to do it yourself. And like I always said, if you're tired of grinding, you're tired of doing all the boring stuff, or you just don't have time to do it, this tool will let you go ahead and set it and forget it and go do it by yourself. But I want to point out a couple things. Number one, it will not run on certain TLP servers that have Truebox. It will not run on those. Box servers that are like Ragefire, Rizlona, it should run. But if you have any questions, post a note on the Redguides forum. Ask them what are the legalities of it. Can you get banned? Pretty much, from what I know, the rules are this. If you're using it to run unattended, like some people will run it overnight or something like that, unattended, then that can be against the rules, and they could talk to you and suspend you for that. But if you are there, say you're watching a movie and you don't want to be running the Shadow Knight, you're just there and you're at the screen and you're running, it's perfectly all right. If a GM shows up and they send you a tel or they teleport you to somewhere else, you just say, hey, I'm here, what's up, what's going on, and you're going to be fine. There's not going to be a problem at all. The whole goal behind having this is to automate so many of the things that you find boring, that you just don't have time to do anymore, so that you can get on with playing and doing the good stuff. Later on, I'll show you other camps that are very good for power leveling your other characters up, or even leveling your character up. Think about this right here. With this guy here, he's not making a whole lot of experience here, but you got to look at it this way. If this character is running unattended or semi-attended, like I am watching him right there, and I'm doing other stuff, maybe I'm doing the laundry, maybe cooking dinner, whatever, he's making progress, and it's low risk progress, but it'll add up. It's stuff you don't have to do yourself, and this can keep you in the game. Okay, so look at this. We've cleared out all these. We just have 4 more, and look at the mana. He doesn't even need to use any of the spells. He just plows right through them. And let's go back to this guy here. Look at that. He's at 39% already, so he's just soaking it up. He has a potion running, of course. That helps in addition. I would not run the Merc on the characters being power leveled, because usually it's lower level. Just stay with one character like this. Here we go. Another one bites dust. And look at that, going up like that. And it can send this to him. We're going to have a whole bunch of other stuff. There's so much you can do with this tool here. Just so much you can do. It just runs by. So we got a couple more to go after. It would try to engage them in line of sight. If you can't, he'll go ahead and close the distance on them and beat them up for you. Okay, look at that. It's just going down, no problem. Let's speed things up a little. And there we go, make it a little quicker. Yep. Just shaving his backside there. Okay, check the map here. And he's resting. So now he's resting. That's good. Some of these he doesn't have line of sight on, but he's resting right here. You can check. And good, MQ2 nav is loaded. You want to make sure that this is already loaded up. So now he's going to rest. He's going to do his resting. See, every 5 seconds he's looking for a mob that he can see. And there are none around there, so he's good. And this is all you need to do. This is the easy way to get it set up. Once again, we're at the Loping Plains out here right by the Druid Ring. And the levels are 87 and 65. In fact, this character is about getting close to leveling. And that's all you have to do. And this is a quick, easy, dirty guide to setting up your pulling. Stay tuned for other guides on a little more complicated pulling, managing tricky spots or trouble areas. And I'm going to go over all that. And in the end, I'm going to show you how to set up a really good camp and some that are my favorite. Thanks for watching.